Hello everyone. In this video I am going to explain you about the data flow diagram, which is in a continuation with the use case diagram that I had already explained you in a previous video. So let's see why we will use data flow diagram. As we already know, after requirement elicitation, we will require to do the requirement analysis, where we analyzed, refined and scrutinized a requirement to make it more consistent and unambiguous. These are the sequence and set of steps that we need to perform in order to analyze the requirement. So in that case, first step that we need to perform is to draw the context diagram to represent the details that will be further required to do the development of the system. Next, we will draw the or develop the prototype, which is optional. Prototype is the working model of the actual system that we will require to develop. And after that, we will require to model the requirements. Further, we will require to draw some diagrams or data flow diagrams at a certain levels or up to a different levels, in which we are going to explain you about the different processes that we are going to use in a system through which we can capture the required information, and further the processes through which we can provide the required details and informations to the user. After that, we will finalize the requirement and proceed with the development of the system which is required. So let's start from the context diagram that we will require to draw. Now let's see what we are representing and what are the information or details we are representing with the help of the context diagram. So for drawing the context diagram, I am considering the same example of the system where we will require to develop a result management system for managing the result of the student in any college or university, whose use case diagram we had already drawn. So let's see the context diagram for result management system. So here with this circle, we are representing the system or the software system that we will require to develop, and with that we are representing the informations that we will require to feed or that we are going to feed in this system, and information that we are going to utilize from this system. Means the information that we are going to input it in the system, and the things or the information that will get outputted from this system, and further that information will get utilized by the user. So this much is the information that we are representing, so that further we will identify the different processes or the functionalities that we will require in this system to capture the information that we are going to feed and to provide the required informations to the users. Now after the context diagram, next is the data flow diagram that we will require to draw. Now before that, let's see what the data flow diagram is. It is a graphical tool used for communicating with user, manager and other personnel related to the system or software that we are going to develop. It is used to perform structured analysis to determine the logical requirements of the system. Useful for analyzing existing as well as proposed system. Focus on the movement of data between or data flow between the external entities and the processes, and between the processes and the data stores that we are going to have in a system, or the tables where we will require to store the data in a database that we will require to design with the system or the software that we are going to develop. Next, what's the need of or why this data flow diagram is required? It will provide an overview of what data a system processes, what transformation are performed on that data, and what data are stored in a data stores for further processing and for providing the required information to the user, what results are produced and where they flow. And this graphical nature of the data flow diagram, or the graphical representations or pictorial representations that we are using, makes it a good communication tools between the user and analyst and the system designers, who is going to prepare the designs, further designs, on the basis of which we are going to write the code for the system. Next is the elements of data flow diagram, or the symbolic notations that we can use to draw the data flow diagram. First one is this rectangular box that we will use to represent source and sink of the information that we are going to feed in a system or software. Source is the set of user who is going to input the data or information in a software, and sink are the users who are going to use the information and data from the user from the system. Next is this double line will represent the data store, where we are going to store the information inputted or fed by the user in a system, and further from this data store we can fetch the data and further forward it to the user if it is required. Next one is this arrow that will represent the direction of flow of the data inside the system, and the flow of the data from the users to the system, and from the system to the user. Next is this circle will represent the processes inside the system through which we can capture the data inputted by the user, and further through this process we can process the required information, and after that the details or required detail further be forwarded to the user. So with the help of this DFD, we will represent a system or software at any level of abstraction. Now the different levels of DFD, or the different levels up to which we can draw this data flow diagram in order to provide the required informations in a required formats to the developers or to the user, on the basis of which further the developments will be done. So we can draw this data flow diagram up to three different levels. Level 0, the initial data flow diagram that we will require to draw. Next, level 1, further more detailed information that will be specified in this level 1 DFD. Next, level 2 DFD, if it is required we can further draw the level 2 DFD, where further in more detailed way the information are specified in a pictorial or in a graphical form. So here you can see the two samples DFD. One is your level 0 DFD and another one is the level 1 DFD. So from this sample DFD you can see the level 0 DFD. With this circle we will use to represent the system that we will require to develop, and here this two line I1 and I2 will represent the information that we are going to feed in this system, and this line O3 will represent the information that we are using or the users are using from the system, or the information which is outputted through this system, so that the users will use that as per their requirement. Next is this level 1 DFD. Here you can say in level 1 DFD, with the information that we are specifying in level 0, with that further we are going to specify the internal structure of the system also. So in this level 1 we will represent the internal processes that we are going to provide, or the functionalities that we are going to provide in a system, through which the system will capture the required information from the user, or the information that will be inputted by the user. Further, with the help of these processes, the information fed by the user will get stored in a data store that we are going to have in the system, and after that, if it is required from the data store, that information is further will get forwarded to the user if it is required through the process that we are going to have in a system. So in level 1 DFD, further we are providing the more detailed information related to the internal structure of the software that we are going to develop, means what are the different processes that we are going to have inside the system,
through which we can capture the information, store the information in a data store, and further that information, if required, will get forwarded to the user. Thank you.